have you been in the United States for many years and are wondering whether you might qualify for asylum? Hi, my name is Maleeha Haq. I am an immigration attorney practicing in Newark, California, and today I wanted to talk to you about what are some situations where you might be able to apply for asylum even if you've been in the United States for many years. So many people think that asylum is only for those people who express a fear of going back to their countries right when they enter the United States. So for example, when they cross the border or come on a visa through the airport, they express a fear of going back to their countries and can apply for asylum. That is not necessarily the case. Many people have been in the United States for several years and can still qualify. Now, there is a general rule that asylum has to be filed within 1 year of your entry into the United States. However, there are several exceptions to that rule, and maybe you qualify. So let's talk about that. There can be something called changed circumstances in your country or in your personal situation that might excuse that 1 year bar, or there can be extraordinary circumstances that might excuse that 1 year bar to asylum. So some examples of changed circumstances could be that there is a change of government in your country that is now hostile to you, where you maybe didn't have fear of going back before, but now that the government has changed and such a government is hostile to somebody of your background or of your profession, you now have a fear of returning, and in that case that 1 year deadline can be excused. Another situation in which that 1 year deadline can be excused is if there's changed circumstances in your personal situation. So for example, there are people who have changed religions while in the United States or have become more politically active in a public way, for example, posting things on social media that puts their life in danger. In that case, even if they've been in the United States for several years, that 1 year filing deadline can possibly be excused for them. Another example of a changed circumstance could be if you were a derivative on your spouse's asylum application and you've gotten divorced, or if you were a child on your parents' asylum application and now you as a child have grown up and have gotten married, you can no longer benefit from your parents or your spouse's application. You can file your own. So even if it's been more than a year since you've been in the United States, you can now file your own asylum application, and that 1 year deadline is excused. So those are some changed circumstances that can excuse that 1 year filing deadline. Some extraordinary circumstances that can excuse it is any kind of mental or physical disability that prevented you from filing within the 1 year. So for example, we've worked with clients who've suffered from severe depression that prevented them from figuring out their immigration options within 1 year of their entry, and in that case we were able to get over that 1 year deadline to asylum. Another example of an extraordinary circumstance that can excuse the 1 year deadline is for example, if you were in some other status within that 1 year. So for example, if you were a student and you've been in that status for, let's say, 5 years, then you don't have to worry about that 1 year filing deadline. You can file even though it's been several years since your last entry, as long as you were in valid student status or, for example, in valid visitor status that covers that 1 year. You will be fine, or you can be fine for filing for asylum in the future, even if you've been here for several years. So filing for asylum is complicated even in the simplest of circumstances, and if you've been in the United States for more than a year, then the situation becomes a little bit more complicated. Feel free to give us a call if you're in that situation, and we'll be happy to help you.